Welcome to our Energy Matters with Anthony Manna and Dena Marie. We're getting the party started.
Yes, we are. Here we are. That's right. And hello. And off we go into episode 56. Yes, indeed. 56 meetings that we've had. First, we do our phone conversation, which is always so uplifting, to keep reminding each other about how we can journey through this wonderful life we live, you know, and that's what I think this is all about. I think that I guess I see it as total reciprocity. You know, we both give and take at the same time. You know, I learned so much, and I always, when I say that, I always like to hold up your book, which is Our Energy Matters, and I'll tell the whole title in just a little bit here. But you can see that I've got all these little Post-it notes that's my journey, you know. And I mark down here, that's me. No, that's Don. No, that's Dena Marie. No, that's my ex-wife. No, you know, and I'm just so you know, intrigued by it as I work through it each time. And what I do is I find myself meditating on it, you know, and I talk about that today. And then, of course, we always tell people that then what I do is I write a piece. And I like doing that because when I go back to my story that I'm working on, I feel like the energy from writing this loosens me up, you know, because with you, right now, I don't have to worry about editorializing myself to death, you know, and like thinking I shouldn't use spark, smooked, or whatever words I come up with, you know, and I just love doing that. It's very liberating. I'm trying to.
I love that you said that, because again, you don't have to worry, right? Remember, that's where we're getting blocks with the worry and thinking too much. And that's what I thought with the best part about this is that it flows through you. And it makes you at ease, and it's good for your soul.
Absolutely. And today I want to say, before I begin, I want to say God dag, gott liv, which is good day, good life to our Norwegian viewers out there. And I love that language. I kept looking at the different words, but I love this God dag, gott liv. And we're doing part number 4. Walk the healing pathway, because I'm going to lead you to the quiz show. So I say here, for just about 2 years now, I have been ecstatically and joyfully navigating the spiritually burnished phenomena of safe being, love consciousness, transformative healing, teaching, and counseling, and Dena Marie's soul-changing manual of sacramental guidance and heaven-sent traditions, purified in the sublime passages and pathways in her book, which she metaphysically branded Our Energy Matters, the Art of Crystal Reading, where her soul, mind, heart seekers, clients, life wanderers like me are enlivened and awakened to prayerful, mind alert ways, plans of action for, and this is another part of her title, for how to manifest their heartfelt intentions. And that sentence goes on, so hold your breath. Nourished by the recurring miracles and glorious presences, spirits, and affirmations that sustain life and living. If only we, hey ho, and here we go, all of us will slow down to acknowledge the spirit soul enhancing fountain of our energy and our willingness, and yes, I say our desire, no, our need to come to understand that compassion for ourselves opens the way to compassion for others. And it's and I always come to that island that you live on in this book, because it seems to me that that's the idea of loving oneself, loving kindness, and compassion are the foundations of your healing powers. Practicing her healing arts, Dena Marie dons the mantle of a celestial alchemist, inviting her seekers to soar toward the splendor of loving their true noble selves, anointed worthy of every living moment alive, 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 in the presence of our celestial alchemists, Dena Marie's decree, as written. Here's one of her quotes. And I go back to this all the time. May the facades we wear fall to the earth and scatter to the wind, never to be seen again. And that's on your acknowledgements page of your book. I mean, it's like the very first one. Her seekers' reborn selves shudder with relief. And that's, I'm not going to even read the rest of that passage because I want to save it for the next time and not throw it away. But the idea of savoring their movement to the gifts of the glorified and health-bound chakras. That's the other foundation, I think. And you know, we'll talk about that, what the chakras are, because you do such a good job of explaining. I say, folks, do you want to learn more from Dena Marie, the quintessential spirit lifter? I discovered a gleeful medium that allows me to move close to Dena Marie's blessed guidance, anointed healing prescriptions, and soulful solace offered as rituals of recovery for living a fulfilled and happy life. I call my medium the Celestial Arts Quiz Show. I try to do that like I'm on TV. Established and hosted by me, Anthony L. Manna, also known as Professor Grandpa Tonio, the book guy and the writing guy. The Celestial Arts Quiz Show features one contestant calling Dena Marie, celestial alchemist, angelic hostess, come forth and illuminate our listeners and viewers curious about your passionate belief in drinking from the wellspring of the energy of open-heartedness, touched by joyful mind. I was thinking about that a lot, the idea of the word joyful. Some people would say, yeah, but the book is called Our Energy Matters, the Art of Crystal Healing, crystal reading. Actually, healing, why not?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, you know, I think of joyfulness, and people will say, well, the book sounds so serious. It is, but there's a lot of joy in that book because there's a lot of healing. And that's,
it's playful. It's playful.
I love it. That's perfect. Thank you. I wish I had found that word before you, but thank you very much, because it is playful. And then the way you go about it and the way people choose their crystals and the way you talk to us about the chakras and our energy matters is just phenomenal. So anyway, are you ready? Here we go. Let's turn to your realm of synchronicities. In your book, you wrote, spontaneity is the seed of synchronicity. So I ask you, contestant, why is attention to synchronicities a valuable path to walk on?
Oh, Anthony, you're always spot on. Because, you know, when I first got this job, I had all the synchronicities and all these things started falling into place. And then I was working too hard on all the other jobs. So I haven't seen the synchronicities lately. And then that's when I know I need to take care of myself. I need to go to the woods. I need to slow down. I need to reconnect with spirit and get those winks. Those winks make life fun and playful, and it flows. But if you're, you know, it's so easy as humans to get going in a direction and not take time to, just to look up and get that direction. Like every day, I think that's why I love these phone calls. I love that we meet every week. Like I said, you're my church. You and I have our conversation, we get realigned, and then we move forward. But if we didn't have our phone conversations and we didn't take time to talk about our spirit, don't you think we'd be in the mud somewhere or stuck?
Well, yeah, I mean, I talked about that today. I talked about in my former life, which is a few years back, I was in therapy, and it was I was very confused about my life. I was very lonely. I was like really just down, and so. But this therapist that I went to changed my life because he introduced me to some of the principles that you're talking about right here. Loving kindness for oneself, compassion for oneself leads to compassion for others, and on and on, and it was like, wow, learning mindfulness changed my life, and also the challenge of it, because I don't always see it as an easy thing to do. I mean, I have to remind myself to live in the present moment.
I wrote an article called Mindfulness. So like emptying your mind. It's always so full, right? So mindfulness. But yeah, and it is going back to me riding my bike, me having a heart-to-heart conversation with somebody. These are all chakras. The bike gets you out of your body or out of your head. The heart-to-heart conversations with you reopen my heart and my throat chakra. Plus we listen to each other so we feel more empowered. Gosh, having a conversation where you're heard is very important these days. When people are running around not listening, talking over people, too much conversation, but none of it's meaningful.
Too much news. Too much news. Blues news.
Well, then you brought up the facade quote. Well, that's because I was at a health conference with my husband who did software sales. And this was at Disney World. And I'm just watching these people run around be who they're not, right? They're trying to sell you something, probably something you don't need. And I'm watching them. Then we had dinner that night. And I thought I had one heart-to-heart conversation with a woman who wanted to get pregnant, but she wanted to make sure she's off all of her meds and she lost all this weight. And she felt so good about life. And then she asked her doctor for a gym membership. And he said, why? You'll never use it. And so instead of him enforcing her healthful behavior at a health conference, which was only selling software to not give people their health, it was like the biggest facade. That's where I sat there at a table at that very moment and I wrote that down. The facade and the energy it takes to lift up this thing and be who you're not. It's ridiculous.
And it takes the energy away. I mean, you say our energy matters, and it takes the energy away, and so you're distraught, you're lost. In your book, you introduced the practice and process of numerology with this fascinating discovery, and I'm quoting you here: just as astrology can provide a lot of insight into a person's personality, numerology can give you an understanding of what stage of life a person is in and what they are meant to achieve. Can you talk about, I know you can talk about that.
So we have a life number, which mine is 8, which is being powerful and strong and putting your foot down. And for me as a female, that's, I still struggle with that and loving myself. And then you have a year number, which I'm in a 5. 5 is like I would say 5 is like the end of July. You got some flowers, they're blooming. Make sure you keep watering them. And like I told you today, it's so important for me to focus on the beautiful people in my life. And you've seen me get a thorn in my side with some person, and I dig myself a hole because I can't get them out of my head when I need to just stop and think about the goodness. And then how many good people do I have in my life? Probably 99. There's that one person that irritates the heck out of you. Oh gosh. Okay, but we can't go there.
Yeah, no.
Give attention.
No, we can't go there, nor can we give ourselves over. I mean, but what about, where do these numbers come from?
So it's numerology. You can look it up and you can figure out numerology online. But it was Dan Millman. It was Dan Millman who had a book that introduced me to that. And he's the peaceful warrior. I've met him a couple times. Lovely man. But it just there's times to start projects and there's times to end projects. When I got to this island, it was all about endings. And how many things. I didn't have any more books left. I wasn't going to Hawaii. You and I couldn't do my healing work. Endings. And then new beginnings is basically me planting new seeds. And I have more power than I've ever had because I'm not taking care of anyone else. So what does Dena Marie want at this point in my life? And I sit down with myself and say, I just want to have peace of mind. I want to be with my family and friends, and I want to go to the beach. Is that so much to ask for?
No, I love that. I'm so glad you say that, because to me right now, the other than being with my partner, which is always an important part of my life, and it's part of my healing process. But then to go back to my writing of a story, for example, it's like an island for me. It's a place of peace, and that creativity is very energizing, and illuminating, and I had to spend a week learning about horses, because there's a horse in the story, and I didn't realize I don't know anything about horses. And Dawn said, well, why don't you go to a stable and ride on one? And I thought, well, I guess, yeah, I mean, because how do you talk to a horse, and how do you get the horse to open its mouth and put a bit in, and all this other kind of stuff. And it was just like, it was so great to be there, because it was like a meditation, and I had to learn a lot, but that's why when I say here at the beginning, for just about 2 years now, I have been ecstatically and joyfully navigating the spiritually burnished phenomena of our energy matters, the art of crystal
Healing. We're going to call it crystal healing. I like it.
I know. I keep doing that. I keep thinking, wait a minute, am I saying that correctly? You have it as the art of crystal reading, and I think, God, but it's also healing all over the place.
And I didn't want to use the word reading, but I do. You come up with some stuff, art, celestial arts. I love all of that. That's where we got to sit down here and like rebrand me. I was kidding. With all the words you've come up with, they just, oh God, it's like like frosting on a cake, but it's something bright and shiny for me. Yeah. When you read to me.
Well, I use the word burnished, and I looked that up a lot, and it's all, you can burnish a piece of metal, but can you burnish ideas? Well, you do, and so that's part of my discovery.
And today in our phone call, you kind of asked me in a session what I do, because we haven't had a full session, but I would come up, I was going to call it Montessori for adults, but these playful ways to open chakras. And I would take them next door, and we'd do karaoke, and we would finger paint, and we would belly dance. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I shut the door and they had to sing a song, So it was my way of trying to help people get their chakras spinning again. And then those people go off, but then I had to give prescriptions, and they'd have to go and do it themselves. I can't be there babysitting people, even though but that's where I got all my ideas, those beautiful ideas that Spirit gave me. And it helps so many kids. Creativity, art, music. Those are the writing, poetry, cooking. I've had kids dance. I've done all of it. And those kids are thriving, and they're still my kids, at 30 plus.
That's wonderful. And we talked also about the word playful, and that part of the healing process is very playful. And that's where you came into this for me, because I said, well, what do they take away? And you said, well, they're right there taking it, they're dancing, they're choosing, they're eliciting, et cetera. It's fascinating. Thank you so much. Well, showtime is up, folks. And now we have to go back to the advertisement.
Okay. What are we advertising? I don't know.
What are we advertising today? We're advertising our Energy Matters, the art of crystal healing.
Healing. I like it.
Learn how to manifest your heartfelt intentions. And that's another thing. All the time now, I think about my intention for the day. I like how it just sets me up and lifts me up. If you want to move closer to Dena Marie's wisdom, then listen to her weekly radio show, Lift Your Spirits. It's on 1150 AM KKNW, but if you go to her website, dena-marie.com, you'll see information about her life, her mission, and also about her show, Lift Your Spirits. I was on Lift Your Spirits several times, and I just felt so honored. She is also very active on Facebook. Her daily chakra insights into chakra energy blockage and prescription. And also I find, and a lot of people have commented about, the startling photographs of the island she inhabits on the West Coast. My website for an interview with Dena Marie is anthonymanabooks.com, and you go to the media section for my Podbean podcasts to find out, to have Dena Marie talk to us about what she is, how she came into this world of healing. And also you'll find on my website, I always like to talk about this, that there's a lot of information about young children, tweens and teens, and new adults who, if you want to turn them on to reading and writing, I have a lot of information and strategies there. Here we go. Goodbye.
Adios. Aloha.
Aloha. And I'll see you soon.
Next week, Anthony.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.